Finally, it's a special edition dirt bike that I think is actually worth the money over its base level. What's up guys, I'm Kyle Brotherson with Dirt Bike Channel, and I've got this freaking sweet, very good looking 2025 GasGas EC300 GP sitting right here in my shop. I went and picked this thing up yesterday. This is gonna be a sweepstakes bike for March. Stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to kind of give you an intro video on this thing, and we're gonna talk about how much it weighs, full of fuel, and I'm gonna just kind of show you some of the things that I've noticed as I've been poking around the bike here. First off, I decided to get the GP edition because it has a couple things that I really like. I love black wheels. I've always thought that the GasGas is probably the best looking in some ways of the KTM and Husky and GasGas lineup, because I just think this red looks so sick. The red and the black together, but I've never really loved the fact that they had just aluminum brushed wheels on most of the GasGases. This one has the black wheels and I think it's absolutely sick. I know it's just a cosmetic thing, but like I've always thought, I'd want the black wheels on this thing. And if you look at this thing, this base model of this GP here, I mean, the GP is $500 more from what I can tell than the base level EC. And it comes with these wheels, the black wheels, it comes with a radiator fan. Just those things alone that I would be adding probably anyway is over $700. And so just the fact that you're getting the upgraded, well, I say upgraded, you're getting the special edition GP bike that has the sweet graphics. It's got the front axle puller, the super sprocket, a radiator fan. It's got the awesome graphics, and then it's got these brand new Dunlop AT82 tires, which I've never run before. Those are some of the things that you get with the GP version, and it's $500 more, and it's just the front, like a front wheel is $299. No, a rear wheel is $299. Even if I was gonna buy the cheapest thing on Rocky Mountain ATV, it'd be $299 for the rear wheel, $269 for the front wheel, about $145 for the fan. That's over $700, and that's just in those things alone. That's to say nothing of your front axle puller, is to say nothing of your sprocket. Now, this bike has a skid plate on it. It doesn't cover the linkage, so that's gonna have to be upgraded. It does not come with a rear disc guard, which is strange, so I'll have to add that on there. But other than that, the bike is pretty much good to go. You've got the flag style handguards, which I can deal with that. I'll just move my hand, I'll move my levers in to protect those, put Teflon tape under the levers, and then I'll probably put bar ends on this thing, and it'll be basically ready to go for most purposes. But I think it's a pretty awesome deal for the $500. A lot of times with these special edition bikes, it's all just bling. This one is a little bit of bling that I actually like because the black wheels and then the radiator fan, and you're not paying like $1,200 or $1,300 more for the special edition. So I actually kind of like this one. Hey, super quick, if you want to support these videos and you want to keep this whole dream alive, use the links to Rocky Mountain ATV right down in the video description. I buy these bikes at full price. I buy everything that you see on the channel for full price, so that I can bring an objective opinion to you. And that is all, a lot of that is funded by those affiliate links down in the video description to Rocky Mountain ATV. You can find it on my website, dirtbikechannel.com. There's a shop Rocky Mountain thing. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps. I get a kickback anytime you click that link and then buy your stuff. So buy your stuff at Rocky Mountain ATV. It really helps me out. This will be a sweepstakes bike in March that you can enter to win. So more on that later, but yeah, use the links down here. Let's talk about weight for just a second. The bike came in at 251.5 pounds, which is kind of interesting to me because the last time I weighed an EC300, it was the 2022 model. It was a TPI bike, and it didn't have the radiator fan. I do weigh all my bikes full of fuel, but this bike is 5 pounds heavier. 5 pounds heavier than the 2022 model. And let's just say there's 1 pound in the radiator fan, which I know there's not. It's more like a half a pound. The rest of the bike is the same as what, so the move to TBI and this newer frame, it's all heavier. So this bike is 5 pounds heavier than it was 3 years ago. And I don't love that. I honestly do not love that. So, you know, we were kind of in the race to the bottom for a while there where they kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Now they're not getting lighter. So we're adding bulk back to the bikes. I'm not really sure where that's being added back into it, but I'm assuming a lot of it is in the frame. The TBI motor, how much heavier should that be than the TPI motor was back in the day? I don't know. I do know I love the TBI. I like the TBI motor more, but why is this bike 5 pounds heavier? I'm not really sure. We'll have to see if it feels super heavy when I'm riding it. I think it's going to feel a lot like the the XCWs from KTM, so I think I'll feel pretty at home on that. But why is this bike 5 pounds heavier than it was 3 model years ago? Let's just say 4 pounds heavier. Let's just pretend this radiator fan was a pound and say it's 4 pounds heavier because TBI in the frame is 4 pounds. Interesting. Let's talk about downsides. The downside, the biggest, well, there's 2 downsides to this bike. The first one I'm going to talk about is the front fork. It's the only one across the GasGas, KTM, and Husky lineup that doesn't come with the closed cartridge exact fork. This one comes with the Explorer fork. It's an open cartridge fork. It's not the worst thing in the world, but there is so much better inside of the GasGas and KTM lineup, and this bike has the downgraded fork. So I don't love that. I'm not even going to put these stickers on here because I think I'm going to do some really awesome custom suspension on this bike from Moto Experts. More on that later, but I think we're gonna trick this thing out with like amazing suspension. The other downer for me is that it's got Brake Tech brakes on the front and the rear. I don't have enough dexterity in my rear brake with my foot to be able to tell the difference between this and like a Brembo brake. But every time I've had the Brake Tech brakes on a bike like this, it leaves a little bit to be desired. And I'm kind of, you know, grabbing at straws for that. Because the Nissan brake, it's probably kind of on par with the Nissan brake, which you would get on like a Honda or a Kawasaki or a Yamaha. But I know that this is not the premier brake in the lineup under the ownership group, and so that's been a downside. So you've got that, the fork, the Brake Tech brakes. Usually the wheels on a GasGas, because they're brushed aluminum, it's a downside for me, but not on this one because it's the special edition. Here's another thing that the airbox. I'll show you, I'll roll in some stuff. I don't love the airbox covers on this bike. It's over on the other side, and it is just kind of a pain in the you-know-what to deal with because it's the whole side of the bike. It's kind of like what the Huskies are. So it's this entire piece right here, and it's just frustrating because there's 3 little snaps on this side. There's a snap right here, and then you've got 2 little things up on the side of here that you have to kind of get it kind of into. So you've got these little catches right here that have to go in here, and then there's a push snap here, and then 1, 2, 3 push snaps on the back, and it's just kind of frustrating to get to get this off. More frustrating to get it back on, and you have to take it off every time you want to take the seat off because the seat bolt is right here instead of where you'd have the seat bolt here on the KTMs and the Huskies where it's not even covered. I like that better. So they've got they're trying to differentiate it a little bit. They've got the seat cover up here, which covers the top of the tank. I don't like any of that. So that's a downside to me. I do love the red and the yellow here on this graphics, but I don't love how big this airbox cover is and how you have to take the airbox cover off just to get your seat off. That's kind of stupid. Let's talk about some of the upsides of this bike. The upsides, I love the wheels. I love the look of it. It's got the gripper seat here, which is also really great. So sprocket, it's got a cool sprocket. These sprockets last a long time. It's the Super Sprocket where you've got the steel on the outside and the aluminum on the inside. They do come with good chains. It's a sealed chain. So graphics, seat, sprocket, chain. You've got the axle puller. Those are all really good things. The other thing is it's got that aluminum subframe, the all aluminum subframe that the KTMs used to have. Now the KTM and the Husky have like a hybrid aluminum and plastic aluminum composite plastic subframe. This has still got an aluminum subframe all the way up, so that's a good thing. I think that makes this a little bit more durable, especially if you're going to do loop outs and things like that. So those are some positive things. Also, it's got the TBI motors, which are freaking amazing. You have oil injection and fuel injection on this bike, so that's a big plus for a lot of people who don't want to be mixing their gas. The bike's going to run great. It's going to have oil injection to mix the oil and fuel. All those things are going to be fantastic. So in summary, I'm really excited about this thing. I do think it looks sick, and I think it's one of the I think it's one of the best deals on the special edition market as far as like this being the upgraded version. I love what they did with it. And for the extra $500 with the wheels and the radiator fan already on there, it's probably worth it to me to get this version. That's how much the black wheels mean to me. And then it's just sick looking bike. Seat's great, sprocket's great. Axle puller is a nice thing. I've never actually bought one of the axle pullers as an aftermarket thing. Like that front axle puller. It's never been enough to me where I put it on another bike, but it is a cool feature and I like it. So it'll be interesting to ride this bike and see how she goes. And then once we upgrade the suspension, this bike is gonna be sick for you guys that want in the March sweepstakes. So yeah, it's a treat. It's a good looking bike, and it's gonna be a sick bike when we are done with it and give it away in March. So anyway, thanks so much for watching these videos, and I hope you're having an amazing day, whatever day I get this out. Okay, that's what I got. Leave a single track.